I hope you can open your, your slide as we go along. I have already recorded this. That's why it's important that you watch the YouTube so that you can actually have an idea, of the discussion, because I prepared a different set of slides for discussion today. Okay, right. So chapter 12 is inventory management. And it is very much, as I said in the YouTube the video, is very much related to supply chain management. Very, very related to supply chain management, because everything in operations management is very, very related. Okay, it is not. This is not something which is isolation. Okay, so you have to view this in in total. So at the end of this lesson, for today, I want you to be able to have an idea, explain the importance of inventory, and then describe the types and functions of inventory. And after that, I'm going to introduce to you the ABC analysis, which is actually a method for classifying. So keyword is method for classifying inventory. Okay, so once you know the importance, once you know the types of inventory, then you want to classify, then we are going to determine the a model. We call it inventory model for independent demand. Okay, for independent demand. Let me just show this. Okay. Independent demand inventory. Okay. It is called EOQ, economic order quantity. Okay. So these 4 objectives for today. So this is this week. Okay, this week I'm going to explain this, and next 2 weeks we're going to cover the rest of the things which is important in inventory, like the production order quantity, the quantity discount models, but not much. There's a brief awareness of this, these models, okay, so that you know these things exist, right, and you know where to find it. Okay, so why is inventory important? So Yu Hang, I see you in the video, so that's why I pick on you. Why is inventory important? Just out of why do you have spare batteries in your, in your drawer? Why do you have spare batteries? Do you keep spare batteries? Sometimes. Okay, why do you have inventory? Why do Uniqlo keep stock of different kinds of shirts and trousers? Anyone? Oh, you want to answer that? Why is it important? Anyone? Just a simple, why is it important? Why is it important to have inventory?
Inventory could help the company face some, help them to like this, like now the COVID-19 is happening, and if the company have inventory, they will
they'll be able to produce their products, right? They will be able to make their products, right?
That's easier than others.
Yeah. So important, inventory is important because you need them to produce your products. You need them. Customers want to have to buy, if you go to a store and there is no, for example, the product that you want to buy, so you'll be dissatisfied basically. Okay. But the thing is, if you keep too high inventory, in production line or inventory, is it good? Is it good to have too much inventory in the production line? Yuki, is it good to have too high inventory? Or what if you have too high inventory? What are you experiencing? What does the company actually face when they have too high inventory? It can be too low or too high inventory.
If the inventory is too high, the company will have to produce more production to keep the
use inventory, right?
Yeah, to keep the company running.
But if it is too high, then is it good to have very high inventory? If you're an accountant, okay, Yu Hong, if you're an accountant, do you want high inventory or low inventory?
I think it's low inventory.
Yes, low inventory. Why do you want to have low inventory?
Because the inventory is the most expensive asset of many
Because it
companies.
costs money to keep inventory. It
Yes.
costs. It is costly. It is, you need that is asset in the company. Okay, so if you look at financial report, accounts, bank account statement, inventory on hand. Okay, so that is part of accounting system. If you have too low inventory or stock out, what is the implication? In retail store, if you are stock out, if you are a customer, what happened? You lose sales, right? You will lose sales. You will not be able to buy the product. So you need to, this act of trying to not make too high or too low, what do you call this? If you don't want it to be high and you don't want to be too low, what are you trying to do?
Forecast.
Okay, forecast, good forecast. Okay, but what are you trying to actually achieve?
From the analyze,
again?
analyze the number from the past data.
Sales, or past sales or past data. Okay, so this act of trying to make sure that it's not too many, not too low. Okay, that is the objective of inventory management. Okay, or we call it inventory control. So it is actually to strike a balance between inventory investment and customer service. You understand? So you want to actually make sure that you try to fulfill order. That means you can make the products and you deliver to the customers. At the same time, you do not want to spend too much money investing in inventory, because it is asset actually. Inventory investment is asset to the organization. It is cost. It is unproductive cost. Okay, unproductive. You have finished goods not sold, the income is not realized. I understand. Okay, so that's the most important. Okay, let's move on. Now, if you actually have, I have shared with you. Okay, so this I've shared with you. You open your chat and you can type inside here. Okay, you can type here. What are the functions of inventory? Anyone, you can open the. Have I? Can you see the in the chat box that I've shared with you? If you open the chat box, I have shared everyone this form. Okay, there is 5 forms here, which is actually the same as my slides. So can you type inside here, what are the 4 functions of inventory? Any one of you, all of you. Because if you type inside here, it will immediately be, you can actually type together inside here. The first functions or the reason for keeping inventory. Is anyone typing inside there?
Yes, I'm typing in the chat box.
No, not the chat box. Open the this slide, and then you can type on it.
How could we access to this slide?
Okay, sorry. I will. You can click it on it. Can you click on it?
I didn't see anything on the chat box. I can say it.
You cannot say anything?
Yeah, we don't see anything.
Can you see this? Can you see this?
No. Did you send it?
Yeah, we can see the screen
You can see the screen,
and
yes. We
we're
can see the screen.
sharing the PowerPoint, but we can't click anything.
Oh, you cannot click anything. You should be able to click the.
Yeah, we can see the link here.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I see now.
Hmm?
I see it now.
If you can click on that, and then probably you can. Yeah, everyone can write now. Anyone can write. Okay. So, okay. The first one is to provide selection of goods for customers. So who typed that?
Me, I type this.
Fangi.
Me, really.
Yule. Okay.
Yeah.
Explain to me. Just explain to me, what do you mean by to provide selection of goods for customers? Yule?
Oh, well, if you don't have this products, it's really hard to provide this to your customer, because even they order this, you can send this or sell this to the customers.
So inventory helps to actually provide selection of goods for customers. If you Google, today there's a lot of things we are sell on internet. So you Google, for example, Dell platform buying or iPhones. Okay, you can actually see the variety of different products. That's the meaning of that. Okay,
Yeah,
and then yes, Yuli.
If you can provide the products for customer immediately, they will change their choose to the other company or other productions. Well,
You lose your competitor.
You will lose your customers.
Correct. So if you are not able to provide that selection, then customer will run away and find different, suppliers or different providers. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the second one. to smooth the flow of goods through the productive process. So who gave this? Who gave this second function?
It's me.
Yuki, okay. What do you understand from this?
Because too much or too less inventory will cause problems for production plant, I think.
So can you imagine a production steps? If you produce like food, okay? You produce a food. So if you do not have, for example, if you are producing sushi is a production process. So what's the inventory before you can actually, mix, produce the rice, for example? What do you need? You need the rice, right? So you need that. So that is what I mean the smooth flow of the productive process. For example, you need, imagine onigiri. Can you wrap onigiri without plastics? Onigiri, normally you wrap with plastic cover, right? So when you produce it, so you need the plastics in order to wrap it. So this will connect the production process. Okay. So you can think of other examples as well, like making a car. You can have steel as the raw material before you go for the stamping press. Okay. What about the third one? Okay, who wrote that? To take advantage of quality discounts. Quality discounts. Or who wants to explain that? Fang Yi, you want to explain that?
For example, when you keeping your inventory, you need to like always produce your product. So if you just product a large quality, you can like decrease your cost of the production, or just buy the raw materials from the suppliers for to get some discounts.
Is quality discount or quantity discounts? I need to check that.
I think it's quantity.
Okay, so this is not quality. Okay, it is actually quantity discount. Quantity discount. So when you say quantity, what do you mean by quantity?
A big number.
Big number. So you get when you buy, for example, in large order size, so you're going to actually get discounts. Okay. So we have a model for that. I'll show you the model later on. And then finally, to hedge against inflation, what's hedging? What's hedging? Yu Hong haven't answered anything. Yu Hong?
Yes.
What's hedging? Do you know what hedging is?
Hedging.
Hedge. What do you call it? Hedge.
I have no idea about it.
Anyone has an
Avoid
idea
something.
about it? Anyone who
Keep
knows?
something
Avoid
in.
something.
Again,
Avoid something.
avoid. Okay, avoid. So hedge means to avoid or to overcome or to safeguard. What is inflation? Inflation is actually the increase in prices, right?
Yes.
So if you want to protect or you want to, what was the word, Yuli? To, what did you say just now, Yuli?
What? I say avoid.
Avoid, okay. If you want to avoid price increase in the future, avoid price increase, when should you buy, for example, steel prices? Okay, when do you actually get stocks for your steel, for example?
When it's in a low,
Exactly. So when it is a low price, you buy a lot of steels. But of
yes,
course, some countries, they actually stockpile. Have you heard of stockpile?
yes,
Stockpile and, stockpile rubber, stockpile tin, because all hedging against inflation. Okay, those are strategies. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is good exercise for all of you. At least, so the answer is this, okay. Now, okay, let's move on. Okay, go to the next one and type in the types of inventory. The types of inventory and, what do you think inventory cycle is? Just write anything that not write anything means anything. What's the answer? What are the types of inventory? Okay. Maybe I'll help you by having you. Okay. You can edit, no problem. Okay. Okay, good. Maybe by those who type, for example, the first one, maybe. Okay, let's finish. I think there are, okay. There are a few, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's 4 mainly, okay. Mainly 4. Okay. Okay. Do I have another one? There's one missing. Types of inventory. Okay, finished products. Okay. So give me an example of raw material. Yuki, give me one example of raw material. Any products. The first one, raw material. When you want to make furniture, chairs, wooden tables, what is the raw material?
wood,
Wood. Okay, raw material, wood. Raw material, steel. Raw material. Okay, if I want to make tires, what is the raw material?
what?
Rubber, okay. If I want to, okay, those are raw material. Okay, what is work in process? Work in process. So those are actually, that's also inventory. That's why in company they have stock count. Okay, they count stocks. Is number 4 a type of inventory? Decoupling inventory. Yule, is number 4 decoupling inventory? Okay, is it a type of inventory?
No, I'm not type this.
Okay, it's okay. Whoever, it is not, decoupling is not inventory, okay? Decoupling is actually what we saw just now here, which is actually number 2, okay? It's actually decoupling to smooth the flow of goods through the productive process. That is functions, okay, functions. So in this case, this is not, okay, I'm going to delete that. Okay, I'm going to delete that because this is not a type of inventory, okay? What about MRO? Who type MRO? Maintenance, repair, operating. Maintenance, repair, and operating inventory. Give me an example of MRO. Anyone?
Maybe some tools to fix the machine.
Yeah.
Some tools, not necessarily tools, okay? It's spare parts. Spare parts like, for example, machines, they have, you know, the beltings,
Yes.
the gears, and those
Yes.
things which are going to wear out. Things wear out, okay? Or batteries. Batteries are also MRO, maintenance, repair, and operation inventory. Aeroplanes, they have, you know, they have MRO. If you don't have MRO stock, they cannot fly the aeroplane, okay? So they need to have that. And of course, finished goods. Finished good inventory is what you call all kinds of finished goods, okay? Automobile, telephones, and so on, okay? Again, because you want to service your customers. Okay, let's focus on inventory cycle, okay? What do you know of inventory cycle? When we say inventory cycle, the clue is here already. The clue is because all products will go through these, you know, stages. Before you, okay, you know how paper has been made. Do you know papers? Kami wa doko kara desu ka?
Wood.
Oil.
Wood wa doko kara? Tree yo.
Eh? Tree.
Tree.
Yes. Tree.
Tree, then cut. Okay, so all products will have inventory cycle from raw material until the end product. So inventory, some non-finished products are raw material to another products. So raw material doesn't mean raw material per se. Okay, it becomes part process. Part process is also inventory. Okay. Right. So the answer is this that that you can see in the slides as well. Okay. So you can see in the slides that this is part of the material flow cycle or the inventory flow cycle. I just call it inventory, the same thing, material flow. From input until, can you see? Input, which is the logs, right until the outputs. Okay. This 95%, 5% is showing the actual time, which is actually productive. Okay. The main production is actually the output here. Okay. Any questions? Any questions about, you know, importance of inventory, types of inventory, and then the inventory cycle. So all products will have inventory cycle. Okay. So what's happening today in the microchips shortage? You know, if you Google, you can see how microchips are being produced from silicon wafer, and then right into the, you know, making the microchips. Okay, microchips. Right. Okay. Any questions? Now I want to move on to the next one. It is once we understand, the need for us to manage, to have inventory. We need inventory. And at the same time, we want to know how to manage inventory. So the most important thing in managing inventory is, first of all, you need to know which one to give more attention. So two important elements. One is how to classify. Why we need to classify? Because we want to know setting our policies, okay? And secondly is how accurate inventory records are to be maintained. For example, if you have screws, okay, screws are maintained, counted, record. The record is by weighing. Have you heard about that? You weigh the nails. You don't count the nails. Do you want to count the nails? You know, the screws that is used, you have to count them. No, you cannot count them, you weigh them. Okay, weigh according to the, how many is in certain weight. So what is the method to classify inventory? Do you know what is the method to classify inventory? Anyone? How to classify inventory? This question here, what is the method to classify inventory? What is it called? What is it called? See slide 14. The answer is in slide 14 or 15. Yole, what is the method to classify inventory?
Is that ABC analysis?
Exactly, ABC analysis. Yes, it is ABC analysis. Right. So the answer is right. It is ABC analysis. But what is ABC analysis? You have A here, you have B here, you have C items. Okay, this is ABC analysis. This is the percentage of annual usage. This is the percentage of inventory items. Can anyone describe this? Can anyone just, if you have read it, probably you know, but what is it? What is this actually? Anyone? Oh, what is this?
What is
ABC analysis. What is ABC analysis?
ABC analysis? Method for
Classifying
divide.
inventory. Classifying
Yes.
inventory. Okay. But
Yes.
what is A item? If you look at here, A items.
The most A item is the like
Percentage of annual
value is
dollar
high.
usage is very high. Okay.
Yes, it's very high.
Annual dollar usage is very high.
Yes.
What about the percentage of item inventories? If, for example, I have 100 items to manage or to control or buy, I buy 100 items. Okay. So only very small percentage are of A items. Okay. So basically, this is a Pareto analysis, same as Pareto analysis. You're going to classify the most important, and for most important, then you can have different kind of policies. Okay, so basically ABC analysis is this. So you need to measure. So this will come into the steps. Okay, I will show you the steps. Need to measure annual demand of the item, meaning how many you need the item, especially in production. Multiply by the cost per unit. It can be used for MRO also. maintenance, repair, and operations items. So you're going to divide inventory into 3 classes based on annual dollar volume. Class A, high annual dollar volume. B, medium. C, low. Because you want to establish policies. Okay. Now, so basically, 15% of item, this is general, okay, 15% of item, but having 70 to 80% value. So this is the A items, okay, A items. 30% is with 15 to 20% value, which is this here, okay, this y-axis. So B items, and the remaining 55%. So if you see here, there are many items which are low value. Okay. So low value item, do you, what kind of policies do you want to put in place? For example, A item, B item, C item. Anyone, what kind of policies do you think you want to put in place in terms of monitoring the quantity? Okay, I give you one question only. Monitoring the quantity. A item, B item, C item. What kind of policy do you think that you want to put in place in your company? Do you understand the question? If you, I can repeat the question again. What kind of monitoring quantity? You want to monitor the quantity, okay, for A items, B item versus C items.
C.
Okay, monitoring the quantity means you're going to count it. You want to check the balance of the items. For example, you know, you buy 100. You have used 50, remaining 50. Buy a new one, 50 plus remaining is 100. Your storeroom, okay, your storeroom. I have a store here. Now, A item, frequency of counting, for example. Do you want A item to be more frequently counted than B and C item, or you want C item to be more frequently being counted or monitored?
I think A, maybe.
Anyone else? Yule? It's okay. No, don't worry, because you're learning. You don't worry about making a mistake. Don't worry, because you can make all the mistakes in the world today while learning, but not when you work. Yule?
Yeah, I'm same with Ho.
Same with Ho. Okay. Why?
A item.
Fungi item. Okay. Yuki?
Maybe A item.
A item. Yuhong?
A.
Why you say A? Okay, because you're the you're the last person to copy all the other rest. Okay. Why you say A?
I think
You will see this when I show you the numbers after this. Okay, if you see the next slide, you can see the numbers and you can start realizing that, yes, it is A. You're all right. Yeah, it's A. The value is because it represents 80% of the value. Okay, it is of very valuable, and you want to make sure that the quantity, it is very expensive, but very few. For example, in transport industry, aeroplanes, the most important, that they want to monitor are the expensive item. For example, the engines. Okay, not the cover for the in the interior of the aeroplane, which are less value. C items, many but low value, many but low value. Okay, so this idea, okay, you need to see the example, then only you can appreciate this. So the example is this same example in the book. So if you understand, you can see there, column 1 is the item, meaning the inventory. Column 2 is just an indication of how many percent, okay, 20%, 30%, 50%. Column 3 is actually the annual volume that you actually used or required or demanded. Okay, and column 4 is the unit cost. So you need these two information, and also of course the stock number basically. So you need the information on the volume and unit cost. So when you multiply column 3 and column 4, you will get the annual dollar value. Okay, so this is what we mean by the volume, the value is highest, but this is already being arranged, and this is already, you know, when you do the calculation, it's already been arranged. But the raw data may mix up, so you need to arrange this from the highest to the lowest. You need to arrange this from the highest to the lowest. So you get the percent of annual volume, annual dollar volume, which is actually 90,000 divided by the total, you get 38.8%. Okay, so 90 divided by 232, you get 30%. So you do this for the rest of the items, then you classify. So basically, so you have your annual dollar volume, then you arrange from high to low, and you assign A, B, or C class. Okay, so this is what the final thing is for. It's human beings going to assign this. Okay, maybe it's not at 80% exactly. Okay, it's 70% value. Okay, this is item, number of item only. That's why it said 80-20 rule. Pareto say 80-20 rule. Why 80-20? Because 80% of value, 80% of the value comes from 20% of item. Okay, 80% of value come from small number of items. 80% of our time is spent on two activities, sleeping and watching TV. 80% of our time is spent on, right? So you understand this. I'll give you an exercise later on. Okay.
Yes.
Any questions?
Yes. So if something is, it takes amount like 18% value of the whole.
So these two items represent 80%. So these two items need to be monitored continuously. I will show you the next slide, which is actually the policy, basically. So what was the question, Ho?
But if sometimes the value is not that, it's not that
high.
If the value is very close, it's not like a big difference from them. Then how could we do the ABC analyze?
You will add up until you get the 80%. For example, okay, this is 25, this is 25, this is 25.
Yes.
So these three items become A. So if it is 25, 25, 25,
yes,
these three items become A. This third item doesn't become B. If there is a fourth item, for example, 20, 15, 15, 15, then these four items become A. The number of item, it doesn't matter, but the value add up to 80%. This value add up.
Yes. My question is if the value of if the 100% of the whole percentage is 100%, and then one item of them is 10%, and the second is 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, and 10%.
You won't get that. It's impossible.
It's
Because
impossible.
it's impossible. Why? Because all inventory will have a very different, unit price. For example, a screw is 10 cents. A battery is $1. A battery. But for example, hard disk, you look at the computer, hard disk price versus, this casing, plastic. Value of inventory in real life will have cheap
Big
to
difference.
very big variation. For example, engine, aircraft engine, millions.
Yes.
But aircraft seat, or
Maybe
this seat ton,
maybe
no
hundreds.
no value, very cheap. So it is highly unlikely, very, you will see ABC anywhere. It's Pareto, okay? It's Pareto. It's a
But
law of
usually
nature.
they are,
Yes.
yes. Usually
Usually-
they are much different in price, right?
Normally, you can see because all products that you produce will have things which are consumables, very cheap, and there are high value items. For example, in a car, engine are very expensive,
Yes.
but the plastic
The seat
cover,
belt.
seat
Yes.
belt are
Yes.
low value items.
Yes.
Okay, so you will definitely see this, and it actually connects to these policies on ABC. Okay, that means what we mentioned just now is actually here, number 2, which is tighter physical control of the inventory. That means you control the usage, you verify the quantity more frequently, you secure the area for keeping these expensive items, and also related to supplier development. Do you want to monitor suppliers with item C? Less what do you call control? Again, supplier is item A, critical parts, safety parts. So and of course, I think you mentioned earlier before, forecasting for A items should be more careful and accurate because you don't want to keep unnecessary stock. There is a case in which, now I'm lecturing. I don't want to lecture actually. I want to share and let you, explore a lot of things. Some companies, after they have a long time, they keep too many stocks. The item already obsolete because they have already introduced a new model. New model introduced, then the spare part become obsolete. Okay, it's cost because the obsolete spare part cannot be used for the new model. So A item forecasting is very important. Okay, so can relate to the policies that is actually being used to based on ABC analysis. Okay, and any other questions? Then you can have a very short quiz. I think you know the answer already now. You should know the answer. If let me just, if you do not know the answer for this, then can you see the questions? Yuki, can you see the question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I give you 5 seconds. No, 10 seconds. ABC analysis divided in 3 classes based upon the following. Okay, first person got it right. Second person got it wrong. Third person got it right. Fourth person got it right. Oh, okay, third and fourth. Okay. Answer is E, annual dollar volume. Okay, annual dollar volume. Which is this annual dollar volume. Okay, annual dollar volume. Okay, right. Never mind, it's okay. Don't worry. Okay, other thing that I do not want to go in much detail is related to what I said just now, the inventory issues of record accuracy. It's important to have good inventory control records. Periodic two-bin system versus perpetual tracking perpetual system. We track the receipts and withdrawal on a continuing basis. It means storeroom management or even a production line. Cycle counting, which is actually stock check or stock take. Cycle counting means how much, how frequent should you check or you should count your remaining stock, okay, or your inventory, because it will go into accounting record, accounting value. So, people, accountant will do this stock taking so that they want to know, what is money tied up in inventory, okay, whether it is finished goods, whether it is work in process, whether it is the raw material or consumables. They want to know whether the money is spent well. And another difficult area, in hotels or in retail, maybe not in Japan, okay. In Japan, maybe it is not a big problem, but in our countries, they have this concept called shrinkage, inventory unaccounted. When we say inventory unaccounted, that means this. For example, you go to what is a supermarket in Japan? Supermarket. Super kah? Nano super. Namanya? Toyokago. Okay. You go there, the workers, they will count remaining, for example, this brand of toyu, this brand of vegetable oil should have 21 kilogram oil, but in the stock it's only 19. One is missing. Shrinkage, we call it shrinkage. So retail 1% of sales is okay. It will affect probably for profitability actually. In Malaysia or in some countries, retail, very easy to, the workers can easily just put in the bank and go out the, easily happen, right? Stealing is not to say common, but it can happen, right?
Yes.
So that is shrinkage or even damage, okay? So service inventory is very difficult to control. Hotel, for example, imagine the cleaner in the hotel, what do you call? Yeah, the cleaner. They will change the tissue, toilet paper, the soaps.
Yes.
Can they take one soap and bring home? Can you take the one soap and bring home?
I don't know.
But that's why I say in Japan they don't do it. They don't do it. But in some other countries, discipline is an issue. Okay, discipline issue. So you need to select people. I think I want to go to this this Heiser slide, which is actually very good. Not to say good, but there's because control of service industries, losses from shrinkage or pilferage, stealing. So you need to have these techniques. You select the best people, training and discipline, tight control of incoming shipments, effective control of all goods leaving facilities. So RFID, you know, when we go out of the store, there is this detector. So maybe for worker also there will be a detector, okay? So that they cannot bring anything, right? So control of service inventories in hotels, in retails is very difficult. Okay, right. Right. Any questions? So I have actually reached to these inventory management issues. Right. So let me just spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes just before your break, okay? Okay, so I've talked about inventory and you have already understood what the function of inventory is. Now, and you know how to classify using ABC analysis. So we want to, you know, when you control this inventory, you want to have this question answered. I want to know how much to order or how much to make, how many to make. For example, I need you know, gloves for my production line. You know, gloves for my, you know, or in surgery, you need gloves. You need needles. 1 year I use 10,000 and usage is also more constant. When should I order? How much should I order? How much should I order? I cannot buy 10,000 and keep it at the stock. No. For example, I only order every month. Or I order every 2 months. So how much to order or when to order? This is 2 questions that will always be in, you know, in the minds of planners, okay? But before that, you know, the inventory models, these inventory models depends on the types of demand. One is independent demand, which means that the demand of an item is independent of the demand for any other item in inventory. That means it is standalone. Okay, standalone. For example, you know, the demand for the repair items, okay, the repair MRO is independent of any other inventory. If I need one engine, I need to have that engine to do the repair. It doesn't depend on any other items. Versus dependent demand. Demand for item is dependent upon the demand of some other item in the inventory. Now, a typical example is this, dependent demand. If I am in production of cars, now I want to produce, for example, today I am in my production target is 200 cars. I want to produce 200 cars. In one car, I need to install 4 tires. How many tires do I need to order? I repeat, okay, you listen. I want to produce 200 cars today, 200 cars. So this is dependent demand, dependent demand. I want to order tires. One car uses 4 tires. So how much tire do I need to order? Anyone who knows the answer? Okay, anyone?
800.
Exactly, 800. So that is dependent demand. The demand for tire is dependent upon the demand item, the next item. Okay, so it is dependent demand. It is not independent. Okay, independent is something which is standalone. For example, you use, well, in Malaysia we use gas. Okay, or you buy, you drink coffee, right? You drink coffee.
Yes.
You drink one coffee, or you want teacups, tea bags. Okay, let's say you buy tea bags. You use one tea bag per day, right? So how much to order for a month? Obviously 30, yeah, 30 times 30 days is 30, right? So is that independent demand or dependent demand? Is the demand for tea bags dependent on any other items?
No.
No. So what kind of demand is it?
Independent.
Exactly.
Oh.
It is independent demand because it doesn't depend on any other items. Okay. It is standalone. It's standalone. So we're going to talk about that. Actually, the model that I'm going to introduce is actually the independent demand inventory model. Okay, independent demand inventory model. So go back to your activity slide. Okay, I've asked you the question. Okay. Now, what are the three types of costs? So in inventory modeling, so because we're talking about cost, minimizing our costs, we want to know what is the cheapest total cost for a certain model. What are the three types of costs that is actually assumed in the independent demand inventory model? Because there is three answers here. Okay. Okay, holding costs, ordering costs, set up costs. Okay. Any other else? So what is holding costs? If you're in accountant, you should already know what holding cost is. Because if you're in accountant, costing, you should have done a little bit of, holding cost. What's holding cost? What do you mean by holding?
Carrying something.
Okay, when you're carrying something, okay, what kind of things that you have to pay for? When you're holding, for example, I want to keep my, vegetables. So what kind of things that probably you need in order to,
Insurance.
Insurance, okay. Place to keep it. You need a warehouse. You need a storage. So those are, holding, holding costs.
You
right?
need to keep it safe.
You need to keep it safe.
Yes.
Okay, protect it from pilferage. Okay. So those are holding costs. We'll see it more in detail after this. Okay. And then ordering costs. What's the meaning of ordering costs?
It's the cost of placing an order and receiving goods.
What do you do when you actually place an order? How do you place an order? In a company, who is responsible for placing an order? Which department? You're a business student, you all should know which department is, placing orders. Now, Yule, what's department responsible for placing an order?
Is that purchasing department?
Exactly. Purchasing department is involved in placing an order. Every time an order happens, so someone needs to, get the quotation, fill in the form, submit to the, so this is part of the ordering cost. Okay. Is it the same with setup costs? Ordering costs and setup costs? Is it the same?
I don't think so.
Okay. What's the difference between setup costs and ordering costs? We can find it in the text if you want. If you can find the But in our model, we are going to actually make it the same, because setup is more of for production.
Yes,
Production.
manufacturing.
Production. But this is similar, okay? Similar. When you are in production, you call it setup cost, but in purchasing, you call it ordering cost. But it's going to be the same, what do you call, symbol when you use it in the model, okay? Now, another question. Now, I want you to, write the six assumptions and explain to me the 6 assumptions for the basic EOQ model before I go back to my slides. What are the assumptions that you have to make in the economic order quantity model, which is the inventory model for independent demand? What are the 6 assumptions? Just very simplified version, just very, very short, okay? So there's 5 of you. At least it will fill up until 5. Okay, one person do one, and I'll do the first one. Okay, then the rest will do it also. Okay, demand for item is known. Okay, that's all I want to write. Okay. Okay, and known, constant, and independent. Okay. Okay. So it's on slide 30. If you can write according to what is in slide 30, then you probably, okay. Number 1, demand for item is known, constant, independent. Number 4, quantity discounts are not possible. Okay. In this model, we are not going to consider quantity discounts. That's the 5th one. The only variable costs are the cost of setting up or placing an order. Okay, that's the only variable cost that is going to be considered. The model is very simple because it only considers 2 types of costs. One is the set up or ordering called ordering cost, and the holding cost. Okay, number 5. Number 6, stockouts cannot be. So in this model, no stockout, no, not allowed. Stock out, not allowed. The third that someone wrote there, inventory is instantaneous and complete. Okay, who wrote 3? Darega, write 3. Number 3, receipt of inventory instantaneous and complete. Yohong, did you write 3?
No, I write 6.
Okay, I've already explained that. 5. Who wrote 3? Who wrote 3? Number 3.
Me. Yeah, me.
Okay, Yule, explain. Number 3.
Well, actually, I'm not clear about this. I also confused with it.
But if you try to just understand from the meaning of the word, when you say receive of inventory means what? Receive of inventory means you place an order, okay, then there will be a lead time. Actually, lead time, for example, not all orders are actually fulfilled immediately. It takes time, 1 week. So receive of inventory, for example, if I order 30, then it will actually be instantaneously received and complete. I mean, you don't have 2 times delivery or 3 times delivery. It's just 1 time for every lead time, and it is instantaneous, meaning it is immediately fulfilled when you complete the lead time. We will see it in the model after this. Okay, we'll see it is actually the effect is the inventory rise up instantaneously. For example, if your stock is currently 0, then you receive 30, then your inventory will immediately become 30 instantaneously. Okay, right? Complete and instantaneously. So lead time is known. So you must know lead time. Okay, if you do not know lead time, then your model cannot work. So what are these? These are all conditions for any kind of models. Any models will have assumptions. Any models will have some kind of assumptions. Okay. All right, time is running very fast, right? Right, I've asked you this. Okay, I'm going to skip this. Already this is holding cost. Okay, so this is the model that we're talking about. This is the model that we're talking about. So if quantity is 500, every order will instantaneously increase inventory to 500, right? So we start the model 500, then we use and we become 0. Then immediately it will become 500 back because we receive the total order. Then we use it, usage rate. So this is the reduction in the inventory. So we want to actually know what Q is. So the model will answer what Q is. And average inventory on hand is Q over 2. Okay. So this is the inventory usage over time. And the ordering cost curve is given by this curve. Okay, the annual setup cost. The more you order, the more time that you order, the higher the cost is. Basically, the lesser times that you order, I mean the setup per order is what we call less, because you order more. You order more. So the annual order cost is given by this formula, D over Q times S. D is annual demand, OS is quantity, S is setup, and holding cost is just average inventory multiplied by the holding cost. Okay, average inventory level multiplied by the holding cost per unit per year, Q over 2 times H, and Q over 2 is average inventory. So these two curves, you total up, you get this total cost. That means for every point here is actually total between these two lines. Okay, and the minimum is at this line. So optimum order quantity can be determined when annual setup cost equals with an annual holding cost, which is actually this total cost curve, which is Q star is 2 multiplied by DS divided by H. Okay. Right. So this is the optimum order quantity Q star. Okay, so the example given in the book is very straightforward. Okay, Q star, plugging in the formula, just using the formula, and you can determine your economic order quantity. So this is the amount that you order that will minimize total cost. Okay, minimize the total cost, which is the ordering cost and the holding cost. So you can determine the expected number of orders, which is the demand divided by the order quantity. If your demand is 1,000 and every time you order is 200 units, then you only order 5 times. Okay, so 5 orders per year. And you can actually also calculate the time between orders. So 50, if you must know your working days. Of course, this is the number of working days must be known. Number of working days per year. And the expected number of orders is 50 days between orders. Okay. And most important is this total annual cost. So total cost is setup cost plus holding cost. So in this case, it is $100. Okay, $100. So total annual cost is this. So you can compare between, if you put in Q, Q is 100, then you definitely, your ordering times will increase. This average inventory, of course, reduced, but your holding cost is lower, but your ordering will be higher. So you can see that the total cost will increase actually. Okay. Right. One important thing about this model is that it is robust. Robust means it is not affected by small changes in the demand, what they call changes. Okay, for example, if the demand is 1,500 increase to 1,500, you will see that the total the new Q, which is new Q, is 244.9, 250. Previously it is 200. You increase to 250 units, but the cost only increased by, in fact, the total cost is lower. Okay, 122.47. Okay, so it's only 2% less than the total cost of 125 when the order quantity was 200. Okay, so this is what we mean by robust. It is the total cost curve is almost flat at the optimum region down here. Okay, so it is robust. And another thing that probably you want to know is the reorder point, when to order. So to get you going, I'm going to I have this question for you, but I know I've been running a bit fast. Okay, so you want to solve this problem by yourself. Then only you know the mechanics behind it. Okay, so the mechanics behind it can only, I didn't save inside here. Okay, I will share to you. I hope you can. I'm not going to ask you to answer the poll, but I will hopefully it is actually being, you can immediately see as well. Can you see as well at the same time? Or I need to post it again. Can you see the questions in the new slides? Is that the question? Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
okay. So I'm going to finish the class early today because I'm running, what do you call, I've run your time. I've run your break time, okay? It's 11:15 actually. I've not given you any break time, so I'm compensating your break time by giving you an early release. But unless you want to do it and want to stay with me, I will stay here and try to answer those two questions. And you can message me, okay, to know the answer. Okay, you can. You can spend the rest of the time, 10 minutes, to actually do these two questions. And then, because mathematics, mechanics, I don't think is, really, you just follow the formula and, just put it in. But the most important thing is actually the concept of the model. I will spend some time in 2 weeks' time. I will repeat this back a little bit, okay, on the OQ model. Okay, I will repeat it again, okay, and I will, at that time, I will post it in the poll for those two questions and see whether you have done it or not. Okay, I will post it in the poll for the two questions. So do it for the next class, those two questions. I will give you, the poll and see whether you have got the answer right or not. Okay. But if you want to know the answer, you can email, or not email, you can message to me and I will tell you whether the answer is right or wrong. You can message to me. I can tell you whether you have got these two questions correct or not. Okay. Right. Any questions? Sorry, a bit rush because I didn't take the didn't give you the 5 minutes break. So I'm breaking the class. I'm finishing the class earlier. Okay. So someone got the answer already. Okay. Right. Any questions? Yuli, any questions? Any question? Nanika shimasu ga arimasu ka? Please revise and please, try to do the questions and review on the robust. Try to read up and try to understand the concept of robust in EOQ model. Okay. Right. So Yuki, daijoubu desu ka?
大丈夫です。
大丈夫です。ファンギー、大丈夫ですか？
大丈夫です。
大丈夫。はい。ほう、質問あります？
Yeah, it's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
So try to do those 2 questions and
Yes.
review back the EOQ model, because in the next week I'm going to talk about that EOQ model as well as the production model, as well as the quantity discounts.
Including cost.
Yuhong, 大丈夫ですか？
大丈夫です。
はい。いつもスマイルね。スマイル。うん。はい。ユレ、いつもスマイル。スマイルは日本語は何ですか？スマイルです。
笑顔。
あ？笑顔？笑顔。笑顔か。忘れたね。じゃあ、okay, so if you don't have any questions, I will see you next week. Have a nice break. Okay. まあ、今、日本のコロナはどうですか？
最近はちょっと良くなった気がします。
よくなります